All right, good evening, everybody. Today we're going to be factoring expressions. I'm going to do the practice and problem solving. I'm going to go ahead and do the even ones. Let's start with number one. Let's factor the expressions from in 6 through 9. Well, number 6, it says 16a plus 10. I'm going to factor this. I have to find out what is the greatest common factor of 16 and 10. That means what number goes, what's the biggest number that goes into both of them? Well, I can start going backwards in this, or I can go forward. I guess the easiest way is to do like we learned in 6th grade. And let's see, I'm going to take 16, I'm going to take 10, and then I'm going to start seeing what things factor into each of them. All right? And 16, I know that, well, 2 goes into it, because 2 times 8 is 16. I know that 4 goes into it, because 4 times 4 is 16. 6 does not go into it, which leaves 8, because 8 times 2, we said. And there's really not another number that goes into 16, besides maybe 1 and 16. So right now we have 2, 4, and 8. With 10 now, again, since it's an even number, we can start at 2. We know 2 times 5 equals 10. 3 doesn't factor in it, 4 doesn't factor in it, which leaves 5, and that's pretty much where we end off. And now I can see that 2 is my greatest common factor. All right, so let's go ahead and realize that we're saying the greatest common factor of 16a and 10 is 2. So 2 times what will give me 16a? Well, I know that 2 times 8 is 16. Oops. Let's see here. And we'll need an a to get 16a. And 2 times what gives me 10? Well, 10 divided by 2 is 5. And now that I have my numbers there, the factored expression is 2 times 8a plus 5. And why do I know it's positive 5? Because there was a positive 10 here. Now let's just examine it to double check. 2 times 8a would be 16a, and 2 times positive 5 would be positive 10. So that works great. I'm going to leave number 7 for you, and I'm going to go ahead and do number 8. So let's see, what is the greatest common factor of 14 and 49? Well, I know 14 has 2 in it. It also has, well, 3 isn't in it, 4 isn't in it, 5 is not in it, 6 is not in it, at least 7, because 2 times 7. And those are the only 2 numbers, really. And we have 49. That's not an even number. I do know that 7 times 7 is 49. Okay? And honestly, I don't know of any other numbers beside that. So as we can see, 7 is going to be my greatest common factor. So if I was to do this, I'm basically saying what number times 7 is going to equal 14x. And then I'm going to say what number times 7. I should use the dot now and not the time sign that they use sometimes, because as we've discussed, that's baby math and we need to get away from that. Is going to equal 49. Okay, if I do that, I can see that, well, 14 divided by 7 is 2, so I know that's going to be 2. And I need an x there for me to get the x. And then 7 times 7 will be 49. So I can rewrite this as 7, right, times 2x plus 49. Oh, sorry, 7. Huh. Mess that up a little. 2x plus 7. Let's double check that. 7 times 2x is 14x, and 7 times 7 is 49. Number 9 is for you to do. I'm going to go ahead and tackle number 8. This model shows the area of a garden. Write two expressions that represent the area. Well, the first expression can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x plus, well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and now if I wanted to go ahead and factor that, I could say, well, what factors into 5 and 10? Well, with 5, you really only get 1 and 5, right? Those are the only things that factor into 5. And then with 10, you can get 1, 2, and 5 make 10, and then 10 itself. And as you can see, the greatest common factor is going to be 5. So over here, we can say that we're going to factor out 5. And once again, I can say, well, 5 times something is going to equal 5x. I can also say that 5 times something is going to equal 10. Now, if we go ahead and do this, well, 5 times what gives me 5x? Well, that's going to be x. And 5 times what gives me 10? Well, that's 2. And now I can go ahead and put these in. Remember, 5 is what's being factored in. And it's being multiplied to x plus 2. Let's go ahead and check that to make sure. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 2 is 10. All right, we're going to go to 12 now. Well, for this, we have to go ahead and set up an equation. First, we know the area is 240 minus 400x. 240 minus 400x. Find the dimensions of the sport field at the right if the width is at least 60. Well, we're going to have to find the greatest common factor of this to see if we can find something that is at least 60. So we got 240. Let's use that first. 240. What goes into 240? Well, of course, 1. And, well, 2 times 120 will go in there. You can divide 240 by 3, because 3 times 80 will give you 240. You can divide it by 4, because 4 times 60 will give you 240. 5 doesn't go in there. 6 will, of course, go in there, because 6 times 40 will go in there. And let's see. Then 7 will not. 8 will go in there because 8 times 30 will go into that. Let's see. 9 will not. 10 will go into there, right? Because 10 times 24 will work. And 12 will go in there because 12 times 20, right? 12 times 20 will go in there. Let's see here. Now we've got, 14 won't. The next number I think we're going to get is probably 24. Because 24 times 10 will go into there. All right? And then, well, that was, oh no, I'm sorry, it should have been 20. Let me erase that. It should have been 20, because 20 times 12 will go in there. And then 24. 24 times 10 will go in there. 8 times 30 will go into there. 6 times 40 will go into there. 4 times 60 will go into there. And 3 times 80 will go into there. And 2 times 120 will go in there. And of course, then we have 240 times 1. All right, let's see what things factor into 400 now. Well, 1, of course, goes into 400. 2 goes into 400, because 2 times 200 would make that. 3 doesn't go into it. 4 does, though, because 4 times 100 will go in there. 5, I'm sure, will go in there because we're talking about multiples of 0. Well, if it takes 25s to get into 100, then it takes 80 5s, right? 5 times 80 will give me 400. 6 will not go into there. Neither will 7. 8 will go in there because 8 times 50 is 400. 9 will not go in there, but 10 will because 10 times 40 will work just fine. 12 won't go, 13 won't go, 14 won't go, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and I guess 20 is the next number that would go, because 20 times 20 would be 400. And then 30 won't go. Let's see. I think, well, I said 20 times 20. So that would make the next number 10 times 40. And then, let's see, 8 times 50. Let's see, then 5 times 80. Let's see, 4 times 100. 2 times 200. And 1 times 400, of course. Now we've got to see what is our greatest common factor. Well, 400 is not, 200 is not, either is 240, 120 is not, 100 is not. But look over here, we got 80 and 80, okay? So 80 and 80 are in both of these, so that is our greatest common factor. So we're going to take 80 and we're going to factor it out of both of these. And we're going to get, well, we said 80 times, let's see, 80 times 5, right, will give me, oh, I'm sorry, that's 400. Take that back. We got 80 times 3, right? 3 times 80 will give me 240. And then, well, we have a negative 400. So even though 80 times 5 will give me 400, I need to do a negative 5. And since there's an x at the end, it'll be negative 5x. Okay? Let's double check this. 80 times 3 is 240. 80 times negative 5 is 400. And since there's an x, that's perfect. So now we have at least 60, right? So we can say the width is 80. And the length is 3 minus 5x. All right, so let's go ahead and see, that was number 12. Let's go to number 14. You are given an expression 12x plus 18y plus 26. It says make sense and preserve. What is the first step in factoring this expression? Okay, now I'm trying to factor this, which means something has to go into all of that, right? All right, so once again, what is going to be the first step? It's finding out what goes into every one of those numbers, which means we're finding the greatest common factor. All right, so I guess finding the greatest common factor. I'm just going to type it in because it'd be quicker. Finding the greatest common factor. Okay, and let's move on. It says, let's factor the expression. Well, if I do that, I have to realize the first number I got is 12, right? Factors of 12 are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times 3, then 6, and then 12. Let's try factoring 18 now. Well, factors of 18 will be 1 and 2. 3 won't, oh, yes, 3 will go in there, 3 times 6. 4 won't go in there, 5 won't go in there, but 6 will. 7 won't, but 8, 8 won't go in there, but 9 will. So 9 times 2, and then 18. All right, and then we can factor 26. Let's give me 1, since it's even number 2, because 2 times 13 will work. 3 won't work, neither will 4, neither will 5 or 6, neither will 7, 8, 9, 10. Really, we're going to get all the way to 13 again. And then 26. Now, what is the greatest common factor? Well, it looks to me there's no 26s over here. There's no 13s, which means 2 is my greatest common factor for all of these. So let's factor that out. If we have 2, 2 times what gives me 12x? That's 6x. And 2 times what will give me positive 18y? That'd be a positive 9y. And then 2 times 26, well, that would be 13. And there's our expression. All right, let's move on to, that was 14. Again, I'm on the number 16. Use the expression below. We got 14m plus mn. Then it has negative 3/4 m plus 8m plus m. It's got all 6 of these here. It says circle the expression that have like terms. Expressions that have like terms. We can remember a like term means that we can combine them. All right, so let's look at these really carefully. The first one, we have 14m plus mn. Remember, like terms mean I have the same variable to the same power. This time I have mn, while over here I have m. So these are not like terms. I cannot combine them by adding or subtracting. The next one I have negative 3/4 m plus 8m plus m. All of them m and n, so I can circle this one. It is one of them that has like terms. Let's see, this next one, 5.75t plus 7.75t minus t. All of these have a t in them. I can assume then that they are like terms. So let me fix that. Uh, 2y plus 2x plus 4. Y and x are not like terms, so that doesn't work. 4 minus 3p, well, this does not have a p at the end of it. These are not like terms. And then 8xy minus 6xy. Both of these end in xy. So this one is a like term. All right, number 4 says explain why the other expressions do not have like terms. Well, that's pretty easy. they have different variables see, than each other. That's pretty much it. Well, it's time for our secret code for this week. And I'm going to go ahead and put something that I'm eating here. It is called Sabra. Supremely spicy hummus. If you ever had these bad boy or this particular hummus with some Triscuits, I got to tell you, it is delicious. Okay, and there you are. That's your code word for the week. I'm going to go ahead and erase that now, so people won't just see that and write it down at the end. And I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in class.